Welcome back to Once Upon a Weird, where we wander into the stories that don't neatly fit into logic. I'm Bruce.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Chelsea.
Yeah. So, hi, welcome. How are you guys doing? How's it going?
Thick.
What's the haps?
So you guys may actually be able to tell us apart this week because I have a wicked cough and it's sitting like right in the middle of my throat. So I was not very nice to myself last week, nor my body this weekend. So I'm paying for it right now. So
Yeah, we can't get away with that anymore.
oh no. I don't know, practically middle-aged. I guess can we call this like my midlife crisis?
Not when life
Absolutely
expectancy is
not.
like a lot longer than 65. Like, get out of here with
He's
that.
70. I'm 35, but still.
It's
My
also just
mother-in-law
the
would be
season.
offended.
I
No.
know. I got
Kids are
screwed
back in
on my
school. Yeah, no.
honestly, the kids thing kind of is wonderful. I can only deal with Rosie's attitude one-on-one. So Rosie's my 3-year-old daughter, so she's literally every time I see her, the words something wicked this way comes just flashes across my field of vision.
She's gonna rule the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or a prison gang, but we're not sure.
right.
She'll rule something for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so last week I had said we were gonna do the nature versus nurture episode this week. Turns out I lied. We all kind of want to do more for that. I think that's gonna require, like, at least on my end, I feel like that's gonna require more research than I've done.
Yeah.
Just because there's some pretty specific stories I want to talk about from books I've read in the past and like whatever, like, and just kind of make it what we want it to be.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this week we are doing strange disappearances. So, and
I can't wait
I know
because
I'm
I
so
haven't told
excited.
you guys. You guys texted, we talked about it the other day because we tried to not tell each other what we're doing, but because we are siblings and we grew up, liking things from similar areas, we kind of have to double check that somebody's not going to be doing the same episode. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know who started it, but someone reached out. I think it was Chelsea, and you were like, "What's everybody doing? Can we just make sure we're not like double dipping here?" And Kendall and Chelsea answered, and I did not.
You did
Yeah.
not.
But we answered with the what, not anything about it. So
Just,
they're
yeah, the
still,
name.
yeah,
Oh
they're
no,
still kind of surprisey to us. So
for sure. But if I gave you 3 guesses, even if I gave you 15 guesses, I highly doubt that you would pick what I'm doing.
Oh, that's
I'm
fun.
also, my mind goes feral though. You'd say guess, and I'm like, blank. I
Like, I've
could
never
know
heard of
it.
any case ever.
Correct. I don't know names. Who are people? I don't
Um,
know. So,
well, I mean, I didn't want to necessarily get stuck in a rut because I feel like sometimes um I have the triple threat here. We've got ADHD, OCD, which is coming out worse now that I'm medicated for ADHD. And a little bit of autism, and it's coming out a little bit more and more now. Now that I'm having one of the 3 slightly under control to the point where I can like start seeing everything else going on. So it's just kind of weird where I'm like, wow, I honestly thought that was normal. And everybody was like, 1000% that's not normal. So I'm learning a lot about myself and what it's like to go from being not medicated to medicated. And last week was rough for me. Um, you know, finding pharmacies that can get my medication that has it. I was got out of it for 2 days. So just starting to feel normal again. I think I claimed like 90% of the upstairs of my house today. So,
She did. I was there.
and
I
it,
saw it.
yeah, I was going to say, and attempted to work on Bruce's car, but I don't
Yeah,
know I don't know what went on there, but
we'll figure it out tomorrow.
yeah, I gotta,
It's just the brakes. Those aren't important.
right, just the front.
Yeah. No, but I'm just so excited because I feel like we're all really looking forward to our different stories. So, um, I haven't started yet, so I think I'll go first this week. What are you?
Get it,
I'm
girl.
going last. I'm gonna finish this out. I haven't given anyone any hints, but I just we are once upon a weird. We're I'm
Yeah.
not pointing fingers at anybody, and I'm not saying that we can't do this, but we're not once upon a true crime. No,
No.
no, no. I do not want to ruffle feathers because I love me some true crime, but
Oh yeah.
I
That got
want
me
us
into
branch out.
podcasts.
Right. And I want to branch out into weird, not
Hmm.
necessarily true crime. I mean,
Yeah.
because, true crime is just morbid history. So here we are about to find out about a whole bunch of weird stuff. So that's just my little intro to me and my life. So there you
And
go.
and your topic this week. I don't know. So like Chelsea, you sent the name over, but I don't know anything about it. I just knew it wasn't the one I did.
Mhm.
So okay, so I'm going to dive in if you guys are ready.
Get it. Get it,
Ma'am,
get it, get it, get it, girl.
Okay, so we are heading to Australia. Picture it. Australia, 1978. And we're going to talk about a
island.
pilot. Huh?
Nope, island.
No pilot. And we're going to talk about a pilot who took off one evening and never came back. His name is Frederick Valentish. And I hope I said that right. So cool, whatever. If I didn't, whatever.
No.
Um, so you might not know his name, but it's kind of at the center of one of aviation's most strange disappearances. No one really knows if it was a tragic accident or if it's a hoax or something we don't really know. So, okay, it's October 21st. Chelsea, was that hairspray?
No,
It's
that was
dry
dry
shampoo.
shampoo.
Mm.
You're distracting me.
I'm sorry. My hair looked greasy in the camera. I couldn't take it.
Okay, it can't take you anywhere. Drink your liquid death. Okay. So it's October 21st, 1978. Frederick Valentish, he's 20 years old, and he rents, it's a single engine Cessna, from the airport near Melbourne. 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 Trying to say it like, anyways. He tells flight services that he's heading to King Island, which is just over 120 miles across the Bass Strait to pick up some friends. Only there's no one there waiting for him. He didn't even tell anyone at King Island that he'd be landing there, which is completely against aviation protocol. Um, and he's not necessarily an experienced pilot either. So he has about like 150 hours of flight time. So he's not like a beginner, but he's not seasoned. And he has failed all 5 of his exam subjects while training for his commercial pilot's license.
How is he flying oh wait, you said commercial. Okay.
Commercial, yeah. So there's some issues here, as you can see already. He had been involved in a few minor aviation incidents. One where he strayed into restricted airspace, without realizing it, and then twice he flew into cloud cover without authorization, just to see what would happen. So
Get
right out
out
the
of here with
gate,
that.
this is just a real great guy.
I never want to
So
victim blame.
nah, no, that's not what this is. Okay, cool. Anyways, so this flight, it's in the evening, it's over open water, it's in a really small plane. Um, there's no real clear reason for the trip. So it kind of already sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Um, So it's around 7:06 p.m. Valentish radioed Melbourne air traffic control. By the way, you can hear this audio. It has been released. I was going to like maybe play some, but it's like the actual audio is like 3 minutes long. And so if you get a chance and go listen to it,
It's
the whole thing.
creepy as hell.
Do you know the story, Courtney?
I do. I've heard like a Cliff Notes version of it, but I have heard the
It
audio, and
is.
it's insane. There's a lot
It's
of controversy with some of it too.
yeah. Yeah, it's really creepy. So, all right. So he radios air traffic control and his voice is pretty calm. And he says, Melbourne, this is Delta Sierra Juliet. Is there any known traffic below 5,000? And the controller replied, no known traffic. And then there was a long pause. And Valentish said, seems to be a large aircraft below 5,000. The controller told him again, no known traffic. He then continued, his voice starting to kind of visibly shake. It's approaching right now from due east. What kind of aircraft is this? He described it as shiny. It's a metallic object with green lights. It was moving at incredible speed and it was circling above him. And then he said, it seems to be playing some sort of game. And there was a long pause. And then he says, it's not an aircraft. At this point, the controller could still hear his engine running normally in the background. But a few minutes later, Frederick's tone changed again. And he says, what I'm doing right now is orbiting, and the thing is just orbiting on top of me also. It's got a green light and it's sort of metallic, like it's all shiny on the outside. And then that was when his last transmission came through, and it's not an aircraft.
Hard
And then
pass.
17 seconds of really strange metallic scraping, and then nothing. So that is the last that anybody ever heard of Frederick Valentish and his Cessna, and they were completely gone. And so an immediate search was launched, like air, sea, everything. Over 1,000 square miles were combed over the next 7 days, and not a single piece of wreckage was ever found. No oil slicks, no debris, no trace of him or his plane. Witnesses on the ground, though, claimed that they could see an erratic green light moving through the sky right over the Bass Strait at the exact same time that he disappeared. And so doubters have kind of said, because again, this is kind of a known, like, what the hell happened story, have kind of said that there was a meteor shower that night. Like, that might have been what those people were seeing, but they were very much like adamant that they were green lights. They were not the meteors. And so a few of the theories of what have happened is the UFO theory. So the metallic scraping, his last words, fits right into that kind of classic UFO. And some even claim like that the 17 seconds are mechanical interference from like alien aircraft, that kind of stuff. So skeptics know, there was no radar contact, no confirmed UFOs, no evidence, but UFO groups in Australia hold like annual gatherings to remember this case and to try and figure out kind of what happened. So that's one case. And it is worth mentioning that he had a very strong interest in aliens and in UFOs. Like he talked all the time about how he thought he was going to get abducted and how he thought he could maybe try and have contact with them. And he mentioned this to his girlfriend and his family a couple of different times. And so it's just kind of an odd like coincidence. And so another theory
you
is
don't always get it's the people that don't really know about aliens or don't really want to meet them that meet them. Like Henry Zabrowski, every time from last podcast on the left, every time he
yeah.
talks about it, he's like, every time I say something about aliens, I'm one step further away from ever meeting one. He goes, I should just stop.
Well, someone should have told Frederick that. So
right.
Another theory is that he was in a graveyard spiral. So this is a little bit more scientific, and That's what it's called, is the graveyard spiral, and it's kind of like it's disorienting. And it's a spin that happens when a pilot is flying in like low visibility. And they lose that sense of which is up and down. And so some people were thinking he was flying upside down and seeing the reflection of his lights on the water. And so they thought that something was, above him. Which is like, unfortunately, it's fairly common. So he might have done that, but it doesn't really explain the metallic scraping noise if he hit water. And so that was where some people are like, that might not have been it. And then it also doesn't explain the green lights in the sky that the people on the coast could see.
Well,
Well, that and, like, you're
how
gonna
far off
find
was he? Sorry.
What do you mean, Courtney?
How
What do you mean?
far off the coast was he? Like, was there a reef? Because he is in Australia. Did he hit a rock reef? Oh, wait, they said
No.
they couldn't find anything.
Mhm.
1,000 square miles. They didn't find anything. Like, they would have found something if that's what had happened, and because he would have crashed. You can't fly like that for long, right? So even if the metallic scraping was maybe the plane sinking, I don't know, they would have found something. Like,
Especially
it's
if
a pretty
people
straightforward flight.
almost watched it happen. Like, we're watching
Well,
like seconds
yeah.
before it supposedly happened.
If he's, talking and on the radio and not doing the like mayday, 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 like things are happening with my aircraft, how do you say that he was in distress and explain all of it?
Yeah, and if you listen to the recording, we'll chat about these other theories. You can tell that he starts to get nervous, like, because he's fine. He's like, "Hey, what's this aircraft?" And then you can kind of tell, like, the way he's pausing. He's not really sure of what he's saying. I don't know. It just, like, that's the sense that I got from it. But
Like he was disoriented.
uh, not necessarily.
Or
I didn't
caught
get.
off guard. He was probably
Yes.
just like, what the hell is this? Aren't you supposed to see what I'm seeing, like, on radar? Like, aren't you supposed to be able to
Yeah.
tell me what this is?
Because he's saying that it's going like faster than him and then slowing down and then faster than him and then like circling him. So it's like,
He's a cosmic tailgater.
Ugh,
right?
that's
God,
off-putting.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. That's like, that, no.
That
Okay,
triggers the crap out of me.
word, I just got sweaty. Okay, so the
Ugh.
hoax theory is the next one. So this is the idea that he staged his own disappearance. And some say that he deliberately flew off course, landed somewhere, and started a new life. However, there's radar for this shit, right? So,
Yeah.
there's no evidence of a crash. There's no evidence of survival. His family described him as obsessed with UFOs, yes, but not suicidal and not like prone to running away.
Yeah.
And like, he had plans, someone that's going to just be like, hey, peace, isn't going to like, I don't know. So that's one of them. The military cover up. So this one kind of feels a little bit off, but it's worth mentioning. You hear Bjorn?
is
Anyways,
that him?
you hear meowing?
Oh, I thought I heard purring.
Oh, no, sorry. You'll hear him at some point. He's about to walk in here. Anyways, okay, military cover up. Some say that there was military testing happening that night, which was possibly involving an experimental aircraft. And so Valentich may have seen something he wasn't supposed to, and it was covered up. The Australian government obviously denies any such operation, but the flight records from that evening, apparently there's definitely some parts still missing in that research. So as far as like the flight records,
Yeah, like his Jeepus or like,
No, like military flight records.
no, the records, like, yeah, like
oh,
who
well,
else
yeah,
was
they
flying
just
that night?
stamped classified on it and they were like, oh, sorry.
They're like, nobody knows. So
It was a balloon from a kid's party. It's fine.
right. And so this is kind of where the issues kind of come up, like, and where it splits the room. If he crashed, why was there no trace ever found? If it was a UFO encounter, why no other confirmed witnesses other than just green lights? And so in
Wormhole.
wormhole. That is one of the theories is that it was something kind of like out of this world, and maybe he went somewhere that obviously we can't communicate with him, so there's his father never believed that he crashed. He believed that he had been taken. He had not been killed. He had been taken. Obviously, this is his dad, but apparently the Bass Strait is known as like Australia's Bermuda Triangle. So there's a lot of mystery in this area specifically. So it comes down to, what happened. He vanished into the sky apparently after saying that there was something else up there with him. But he
What
was
year
also
was
obsessed
this?
with UFOs, 1978.
Mm.
So it's not like 1940s, but it's also not 2015. So
Yeah.
I
what do
wonder
you
if we'll
guys
see him in
think happened?
50 years.
Maybe there's a Netflix show about that. Except was it 5 years they were gone?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
manifest.
I don't know.
Yeah, we watched like the first 3 episodes and then kind of, but what do you guys think happened?
Oh, it was aliens.
Right? It's 100% aliens, man. Come on. They were like, this guy wants to come hang out. He seems cool, except he should stop flying. Let's take him home with us.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd love to believe aliens wanted to take our terrible flyer away from us. But personally, like I have to lean towards maybe like if there was a meteor shower or something that threw all of his equipment off and he just kept flying and they lost his radar, just something along that crazy line and they searched 1,000 square miles, but maybe he was even past that to where, I mean, at some point, something like that's going to be found, obviously. But, if he's in the middle of the ocean or, the middle of a jungle, someone might not even recognize that as his plane or something. But I don't know. That just kind of seems to be where my mind went with it.
Mhm.
It was mechanical failure, who knows what the lights were, unexplained. But, yeah, that's wild though. That's crazy.
Right? Especially like when I was listening to the audio and it said like it's not an aircraft. Like the way he said it, I don't know. It just kind of like, well, it's been like chills down my bones. And
Straight shivs.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really weird. And then hearing the metallic at the end, like a lot of people have kind of said that you can hear like faint rhythmic patterns, which makes it sound like it's mechanical, not human made, but is interfering with the signal more so than it is the plane itself. So there's just a lot of theories. We might not ever know. Um, yeah, so do with that what you will.
I mean, if I
That's
sat at a certain
crazy.
spot in one of my apartments on my phone, I could hear the Burger King down the street. I
Mhm.
could hear them ordering at the drive-through because just something hits right that my phone
Oh, I thought you were
crossed
saying like
with.
you could hear it out your window, and I was like, what the fuck does that have to do
No,
with
like
what
on
we're
my
talking
phone.
about?
I'm sitting on my phone talking to somebody or trying to make a
Oh,
call or
that's weird.
something, and it could be ringing, but I would actively hear the "Thank you for coming to Burger King. What can I get you tonight?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Did I call Burger King? Like, I swear to God, it says mom. Like, who changed
Oh, that's
mom's number
really
to
funny.
Burger King?" I started panicking until somebody answered back, and I was like, "What the hell?" Scared the crap out of me the first time it happened, but
Heck yeah, that could be it. We don't know. And again, it was so long ago, there's really no way to know. There was said to have been like a hood of a Cessna, like the same kind that he was flying, that washed up on shore like many, many, many years later. And the serial number could have matched his plane. Like there was a lot of like, it could have been his, but we don't know. So there's definitely no definitive answer.
huh, you never know. Jack the Ripper was solved recently and
So,
solved.
yeah.
I don't know. We had the Lady of the Dunes was solved.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so cool, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. So that is my strange disappearance.
Yay. Golf claps.
Yay.
Chelsea, your turn.
So obviously we're sticking with the disappearance theme. Mine is not quite that far back. It's honestly what, like, all unsolved mysteries bother me just a little bit. No, not gonna lie, but this is one that kind of shook me to my core. Um, it there's more questions every time I look at it. Um, and the craziest part to me is it is in the 2000s. There
Yeah.
were cell phones involved, and we still don't have answers. And so anyway, on that note, today I'm going to talk about Bryce Laspisa. So this happened in August 2013. A 19-year-old college student named Bryce Laspisa was driving on a California highway. He's headed south back home, but his behavior in the hours leading up to the drive has everyone worried. And then he disappears. No crash, no body, just a car turned on its side at the bottom of an embankment and 1,000 unanswered questions. So Bryce was a sophomore at Sierra College in Rocklin, California. And that's about, I think it said like 20 miles northeast of Sacramento. So, but his friends say that he was a funny, artistic, and a little sarcastic guy, made everyone feel comfortable and at ease, you know, someone you like hanging around.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
He just finished his first year studying graphic design. He had a girlfriend named Kim, and he had close friends in the area. He came back to campus for his sophomore year in August of 2013, but he was just different. Like, they all just noticed he was a little different. Within a few days, his friends began noticing changes. He was staying up all night, drinking heavily, taking ADHD medication that was not prescribed to him. It was keeping him up for hours, heightening his energy and changing his mood, which are side effects of what ADHD medication can do for you if it's not for you. Let's see. On August 28th, Bryce called his mom, Karen, and told her that he had a lot to talk about. He didn't want to say what it was, though. And that night, things started to kind of unravel for him. He told his girlfriend, Kim, that he wanted to end their relationship that night. He told her that she would be better off without him. Kim was concerned. She took his keys away, thinking that he was too upset or possibly drunk to drive. Bryce called his mom again, and Karen convinced Kim to give him the keys back. She didn't know it yet, but Bryce was about to leave Rocklin and drive hundreds of miles south towards his parents' home in Laguna Niguel. So he left school around 11:30 p.m. And from that moment, things keep getting like increasingly bizarre. By 1 a.m., he called his mom and said he was fine. By 9 a.m. the next morning, his car was in Buttonwillow, which is about halfway between Rocklin and Laguna Niguel. He'd driven for roughly 8 hours, but something strange happened when he got there. Instead of continuing home, he stopped, and he stayed there for almost 13 hours. So he's halfway home, he stops, and he stays halfway for almost 13 hours. Right, could be. So Buttonwillow is an agricultural town off of I-5, and it's mostly gas stations, truck stops, and farmland or flatland, just kind of stretching all the way. Let's see. That morning, Bryce had run out of gas, and a local man named Christian, who worked for a roadside assistance company, brought him fuel. He said Bryce was polite and calm, and nothing seemed off with him. But after that encounter, Bryce just stayed there. His mom kept calling and checking in and urging him to keep driving, and he promised he was on his way, but GPS data later showed that he never left the area. He just sat on that same stretch of road for hours, just sitting in his car. At 9 p.m., the same roadside worker was called out again. This time he found Bryce in the exact same spot, still there, still calm, and still polite. When Christian called Bryce's mom, she asked him to hand Bryce the phone. Karen begged her son to come home. He said, "I'm going to. I just need to talk to you later." At 11 p.m., so 24 hours from when he left school originally, Bryce finally started driving again. He texted his mom around 2 a.m. to say that he was too tired to talk, but GPS data showed that he was headed toward Castaic Lake. I don't know if that's how you say that, but that's just north of Los Angeles.
I'd say no.
You know, but that's where everything stops making sense. At around 5:30 a.m. on August 30th, California Highway Patrol discovered Bryce's 2003 Toyota Highlander near the lake. It was overturned and down a 25-foot embankment, airbags deployed, and windows shattered. Inside, they found Bryce's wallet, phone, laptop, and keys. The back window had been kicked out from the inside. But Bryce was nowhere to be found. Officers initially thought that Bryce might have wandered off injured or even died in the surrounding brush. Search teams, helicopters, bloodhounds, they covered the lake and hills for days. The dogs tracked his scent to a truck stop on the opposite side of the lake, and then his scent just vanished. So it's been more than a decade, and it's still unsolved. Bryce just is gone. There's a few main theories. The first one, Bryce planned his own disappearance. Maybe he wanted to start over, leave behind the pressure of college, relationships, or drugs. But why stage a car crash that could have killed him? I mean, if he's kicking out the window from the inside, he was in there from the sounds of it when it rolled. The second one is he had mental health or some substance-induced psychosis. Friends did say that his behavior had shifted dramatically in the days before he had vanished. Insomnia, erratic messages. It's possible that he experienced a psychotic break and just got disoriented after the crash and wandered off.
That almost sounds like mania, bipolar disorder.
Yeah. The third one's foul play. Something that Bryce might have encountered someone after leaving the crash site. They're both really rural areas, truck stops, very few cameras, probably low cell service. But there's almost no physical evidence. Like, they found the car, they found his things, no remains, no sightings of him. He's never popped back up. I mean, that's the craziest part, is this story just stops.
Yeah, I almost was like, wait, that's it? When you said that it just disappeared, because it's like, wait, what?
Well, and the crazy part is like, hindsight's always 20/20. And as a parent, when your child might be struggling with something, you would like to think that you would be there for them in a heartbeat. You also, as your children get older and they're adults, you assume, even if they're having a hard time, they can handle it and you'll help them through it. So there are, Bryce's parents offered to come get him, offered to meet him, and they never did. That's brought up a lot, that they had that opportunity. But again, when your adult child says, "I'm good, I'm just resting," or "I just needed to stop," you trust them, because why wouldn't you? He was a trustworthy guy. So I do dislike the parent blaming on that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all, because like there's a certain, you never know what you're going to do. Them. You're not hearing all these pieces.
Yeah, and I would love to say that I'd jump in the car, you know, and go to my child. But if they're saying like, I'm just resting and they're talking to you, it's not like you can't get a hold of them. If I lost contact with one of my kids, I'd be like, oh, yep, I'm already there.
Right.
But again, he's still communicating with them up until a certain point. So it's like, yeah, they were probably just like, okay, hurry home. Like we just want to make sure everything's okay. Um, but yeah, they've never stopped looking. He'd be in his early 30s at this point. Um, but it's, I also just, I know this is one that a lot of pods cover but I just feel like someone has to know something. So if we kind of keep, you know,
Keep
talking
talking
about
about
it
it.
and bringing it up every so often and maybe keeping it fresh in people's minds, um, I just, as a parent, regardless, you should know what happened to your kid.
Yeah, that closure is
Yeah, and that's a
necessary.
tough one, but it literally, he was just gone. How do you how do you move on from that? But again, this is 2013. It's not like it was in the 1970s.
Right.
We lost a full-on human with no trace and nobody has answers. And again, it's 2025. Like,
I heard
I don't
a
know.
theory about this,
Mhm.
that the car crash from where the car would have started to where he ended up, where he started, he wouldn't have seen the part that he crashed on. It would
Mhm.
have looked to him that it went straight over a cliff into the lake.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of different things. Like, I even heard that there was like a little drive down to the lake and the
Like a boat
road.
launch.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
something like a little dirt road or gravel road or something like that could have gone down there. And, you know, if it's dark or if he's having an episode, maybe, you know, he wasn't paying attention. I don't know. There's so many questions about why an extremely normal, you know, adult, but kid,
A kid,
um,
yeah.
starts struggling, you know, like that and then just disappears. Um, it'd be a lot easier to explain if his body was in that car, you know?
The
Uh,
lake.
right. Just
Right.
Well, and they
something.
did find
Yeah.
his scent all the way to that truck stop. And so that means he got out of the car and walked to that truck stop. So that's where, in my opinion, like where the questions should be, you know, because
Mhm.
otherwise, unless someone like picked up something of his from the crash and then walked to the truck stop, but that still doesn't make sense, you know, because then where is he?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
but like the reason that I immediately went to mania is I recently read this book and I think I recommended it last week called A Little Less Maddie, and because I don't know very much about bipolar disorder, and apparently, like so with this person's case, she was diagnosed depressed and was given antidepressants, which triggered the mania
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she didn't know she had it, right? And so it's very similar to that. It's like the erratic messages, like throughout the night, random times she would sleep like 2 hours and then have all the
Mhm.
energy in the world and like go, 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 and just started changing completely. And so like that was almost ringing a lot of those bells of like, he clearly, to me, it seems like he was probably just not mentally well. And, but that
Yeah,
still doesn't
but
explain where he went.
well, that's my thing is, yeah, it does seem like he was having an episode. But again, somebody that's disorganized, chaotic, doesn't just get lost either. Like usually
Yeah.
there's, you know, he dropped something on the way to he lost a shoe climbing up an embankment or,
That's
there's no
true.
rhyme or reason usually when somebody's in a mental state like that. Um, but
Especially if
again,
he gets to a truck stop because there's people, and if he's jumping out in front of trucks or on
They're going to
cars,
call
or
someone.
well,
they're
yeah,
gonna call
and
the
someone would
cop.
remember that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But I
Mm.
mean, at the end of the day, Karen, his mom, just said, We just want to know what happened, whether he's alive or not. We just want to know. So if anybody has any information about Bryce Laspisa, contact the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Missing Persons Unit. So hopefully one day, his parents, his family will know what happened to him, if he's, maybe still around, living a different life, which, no shade either way, but dang, his family would sure like to know. So
I was gonna say a little shade. You should let your people know. Like slight
valid,
shade if he's
val-
alive.
valid. But so yeah, that's the crazy part to me is, again, 2013, where we got a lot of technology and stuff going on, and we still just do not know anything, absolutely anything.
I won't lie, when you said 2013 and then you were like, yeah, I'd be in his early 30s. Now I was like, no, I'm in my early 30s. It's like, no, he's way older than that. And then I thought,
I still think a
No.
2005 car is still pretty new. And then I'm like, whoa, no, it's not. Calm down.
That's 20 years old.
Same.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Okay. I mean, so far, 2 solid disappearances. Courtney, you're
All
up.
right. Well, my disappearance says,
Oh.
hold on. Sorry. I'm resituating. I'm a little twitchy tonight. So, sorry. It's my first full day of still feeling my Vyvanse. So, I might be up a little late tonight. So, I'm just a little twitchy.
That's what Bryce
All right.
took. It was Vyvanse, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't go missing on me, please.
I won't. I have to meet with my doctor once a month to talk to her and tell her how
Like I
I
can't go
am.
missing.
I'm going to put a tracker on you.
I mean, I have my kids, so if I go missing, my kids won't go to school and someone will know pretty quickly. Oh, hopefully.
We all talk every single day. We would know pretty
I know.
quickly.
I know. Mom thinks we end up in a ditch most of the time anyway because I was changing my kid's butt or something. And she's like, oh my God, I was about to call 911.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
You're good. Kids, man.
Kids, man.
I mean, you have 3 of them.
I do. I have 3 at home.
Well,
I was
3
gonna say
at home. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
We ready?
let's do this.
Let's do
This
it.
is the Lost Army of Cambyses.
Okay, an army. Yeah.
An army. So I told you disappearances.
Yeah.
We're going in the way, way back machine tonight.
I love the way
Sorry.
back.
You might need a 5-point harness for how way back we're going.
All right.
All right. In 524 BC. Yeah. A Persian king named Cambyses II, son of the mighty Cyrus the Great, sent an army of 50,000 men into the Egyptian desert. Their mission? To destroy the oracle of Amun in Siwa Oasis, a sacred place that had defied his rule. But somewhere between Thebes and Siwa, the army vanished. No messengers returned, no bones, no weapons, no trace. Just gone. For over 2,500 years, the sands of the Sahara have guarded their secret. This is the story, the lost army of Cambyses, and a mystery buried under waves of sand, myth, and time itself. I told you I was going to pull a fast one on you.
All I can picture is like them walking through the Sahara Desert and then there being like a bunch of sand and they're like, oh, fuck. And they get trapped, all 50,000 of them under a giant sand dune. And that's where we're at.
I mean, it's possible. We'll see.
1,000 people, but yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh, well, Cambyses II wasn't just any ruler. He inherited one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. And I'm going to butcher this. I had listened to the pronunciation probably about 8 times.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But my mind still has a seizure when I try to read it. Achaemenid
Oh,
Persian Empire. And I know somebody's going to correct me out there, probably our father, because he's a Jeopardy nerd, and Lord knows where he pulls all these facts out of. Anyway, it looks like arachnid when I look at it really quickly. So we're going to call it the Arachnid Persian Empire. But while his father Cyrus was known for tolerance and diplomacy, Cambyses was known for his fury. After conquering Egypt, Cambyses sought to stamp out the resistance, especially from Egypt's priests, who were loyal not to Persia, but to their own gods. And one god in particular seemed to taunt him, Amun, the hidden one. The Oracle of Amun at Siwa Oasis was a powerful religious center, so influential that Alexander the Great himself would later visit it in centuries later. How far back we're going. We are not like centuries before Alexander the Great. So according to the Greek historian, here's another one I listened to, Herodotus, Cambyses sent an army of 50,000 men from Thebes to destroy the oracle and silence its priests once and for all. But Herodotus wrote this story a century later based on what Egyptians told him. And that's honestly where the mystery begins.
oh, not with the missing 50,000 men, just...
Yeah. But the story being written over a century after it even happened.
I will say, before you continue, that I think it's ironic that he sent 50,000 men to find the lost god, and they got lost.
I mean, it's like John Wick 4.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I trying?
I mean, that's what you get.
Spoiler alert.
Get what you ask for.
Right. You have to get lost to find yourself.
Ooh,
Okay,
mystical.
Moana.
I know, right? All right. The army marched westward through the harsh Libyan desert. 5 days
Westward,
in, they reached... Right. 5 days in, they reached the oasis of Karanga. From there, they turned towards Siwa, another 400 miles of sand, stone, and scorching sun. Herodotus says, I don't either. That sounds awful, especially on foot.
Ugh, God, no.
I barely like walking 2 miles to the school and back. Herodotus says they crossed... Oh, same. Yeah, seriously. I mean, they're crossing a desert on foot.
Yeah,
and it says another 400 miles. Not just from where they start 400 miles. It's another 400 miles. Herodotus says as they crossed the open desert, a strong and deadly south wind swept down upon them. A sandstorm, right?
They were buried by a sand dune.
The kind that can strip paint from metal and bury an entire caravan in minutes. Not one man survived. No one returned. The desert, he said, swallowed them whole.
I bet it did.
But here's the problem. That's it. That's the only ancient record. No Persian inscription, no Egyptian relief, just Herodotus. And the whispers of the desert.
It was a century later?
Yep.
Okay. So why would you write about a storm that happened 100 years ago?
I don't know. So, for centuries, scholars debated whether the Lost Army even ever existed at all. Was it propaganda, a tale told by Egyptian priests to mock their conqueror, or a real military disaster just erased by time? In the 19th century, European explorers became obsessed with finding proof. Must be Americans. Anyway, they scoured the desert. Yeah, right. They scoured the desert, guided by the local Bedouins, who told stories of ancient bones and bronze weapons hidden under the dunes. Some claimed to find them. Skeletons half buried in the sand, rusted fragments of armor glinting in the sun. But everything supposed discovery faded into rumor or exaggeration. Every supposed discovery faded into rumor or exaggeration. Then, in the early 2000s, two Italian archaeologists, Angelo and Alfredo Castiglione,
Okay,
claimed to have found...
literally, you could not have made up more Italian names than Angelo and
Honestly.
Alfredo.
For real.
Castiglione. Yeah, please.
I'm either picturing them showing up in like really tight like pants and like a crop top kind of outfit, or a full-on suit like mafia. I'm going one or the other.
For me, it was immediately a red and green overalls with giant mustaches and matching caps.
It's me!
Alfredo! Right?
Yeah.
They're archaeologists, not plumbers, Bruce.
Yeah, they're wild.
Anyway, Angelo and Alfredo thought they found what the truth was. In the remote area between the oases of... Excuse me. I had a little burp and it just sat right here for a second.
Oh, I hate that.
The oases of Dakhla and Siwa, they found a trail of bronze
Jojo.
arrowheads. Right? Every time I read that, that is the only thing I thought of, and I'm so glad you said it because I'm really hoping that breaks this. So, in a remote area between the oases of Dakhla and Siwa, they found a trail of bronze arrowheads, ceramic fragments, and even human remains, all aligned with a possible ancient route. They believed this was the final resting place of Cambyses' army. The world took notice for a moment.
Rude.
But, I know, but archaeology isn't built on passion, it's built on proof. Egyptian authorities dismissed the Castiglione's claim, saying there wasn't enough verified evidence, or proper excavation. The alleged remains weren't dated, and some scholars accused the team of sensationalism. The mystery then just slipped back into legend. Still, satellite imagery and modern desert surveys show the ancient caravan routes did pass near the area they explored. Could a massive force of 50,000 men really have disappeared without a trace? Possibly. The Sahara's dunes can shift more than 30 feet per year. Over centuries, an entire city could vanish beneath them. So maybe, just maybe, the desert is still holding its secrets close. Whether the Lost Army truly perished in a sandstorm or never existed at all, the story endures. Not just a cautionary tale of arrogance, but a symbol of how small we are against nature. For historians, it's a puzzle missing its centerpiece. For storytellers, it's a legend that refuses to die. And for the desert, it's just another secret it's not ready to give up.
Yo.
I've got one little small thing. So it's just thousands of years later, explorers still search, drone scans, dunes. Geologists study sand layers, hoping for a trace of bronze or bone. Each time a grain shifts, there's a chance one soldier's story, buried for millennia, might surface. But until that happens, the Lost Army of Cambyses remains one of history's most haunting vanishings.
I feel like that's fucking wild. Okay, so like a sandstorm of that nature could have taken them out. But again, why write about a storm that happened 100 years ago?
And why be the only one to write about it if it was such a storm of that magnitude? Why didn't anybody else experience it?
Well, and where would he have found the information regarding the storm? If he was the only one to write about it, I guess that's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
Wild. No, I bet you it'll be uncovered. That sand is insane. It's like water, how it just kind of gets into everything.
Well, I mean, it's like at Petra right now. Well, right now, I mean, Josh Gates, I was watching not his most recent season, but the season before. And he went in and they're still finding that the level of Petra that we can see is like the third or fourth floor. Like there are many floors below where they are, and it could have
Yeah.
been sand blowing it all in and blocking everything.
P.S. Me and my husband are obsessed with Josh Gates. We love
So
a
are we.
good Joshy Gates episode.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Love him to pieces.
Yeah, we,
So,
we literally watched Josh Gates on my bachelorette trip. So,
Constant, like on
um,
a loop. Yeah.
yep.
yeah.
No, yeah, even Rob, he's like, yeah, what new show does Josh have? Like, well, is there like Destination Truth and Destination X and Expedition X and like,
Expedition Unknown or something like that.
yeah. No, he'll
Same with
literally
Bitch.
search on the TV. He's like, what Josh Gates show do we got going on now? We love Josh.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like if you think about it, sand is so similar to water at how much it changes and erodes things.
Over
There are
time.
undercurrents of sand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Isn't that
And
what
like,
quicksand is?
well,
Is
I
essentially?
don't know about quicksand per se, but I know like, yeah, like sand itself, if there's, I mean, if you think about it, if you've got a layer of sand on top of a hole or a gap below it, slowly that sand is going to seep through that and cause an issue and suck something down in the sand. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like how much has been hidden by sand and how much has been destroyed by the sand. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It wears
That
down
we'll
so
never
quickly.
know. Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, how hard is sand if it's like being pelted at your face?
Oh, we've all been in that in Arizona.
Yeah.
No.
And it's like
Getting back
that
into
could
the car with
destroy.
pinpricks of blood on the back of your leg. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get ice cream at the grocery store, and I was assaulted by a sandstorm.
Yeah. But like that could destroy so much history and evidence and
Yeah,
it's just
that's
crazy
wild.
to me. It's crazy to me.
Well, apparently
That's
there are entire armies potentially down there in the sand. So
Evidently. And we
well,
were
yeah,
worried about the ocean.
and if you think about
yeah,
it, what if
we should be.
you know they're marching to where they're going and they die from exposure and just get swallowed up?
Yeah.
That's so
Well,
wild.
as you said in what episode 1, Chelsea, the 1800s of it all, they probably didn't write much down. So
The
there's probably a
500
lot
BC of
lost.
it all.
That's true, and like you got to remember a game of telephone. Like it
Mhm.
might start from a kernel of the truth, and this man's might be writing a story that maybe there was that big army that left and maybe they didn't make it because they didn't pack enough food or water to make it as far as they thought they were going to make it. And he was like, yeah, they're probably buried in the sand out there. You know what I mean? Like he was a fictional writer with, nonfiction startings. I don't know.
Could have been a
But
word of mouth story to heal the
Yeah.
grieving process for the families of the
for
soldiers, even.
sure.
Because
For
he
sure.
was told when he was traveling through the area, was told by fellow, like not fellow Egyptians, but like neighboring Egyptians. He was told these
Yeah.
stories and
Yeah.
he wrote it down. Whether he embellished what he was told or again,
Yeah.
game of telephone, it was embellished from the time it happened to when it was written down, but Lord knows because it was before his time.
For sure. That's so cool though. Like, I think, I don't know. I just think that's really cool that people took that upon themselves back in the day to be like, yeah, this happened. That's so crazy. And that we have knowledge of that now because he was just like, wild. That's just wild. I have to write this down. And I mean, but seriously, most people are like, whoa, crazy story, bro. And, they
And
might
move
tell it
on
to,
with their lives.
well, yeah, they might tell it to like 4 other people. And this one's like, Egyptian army. Weird. Okay, cool. Got it.
Right? Imagine
But
what we would know now if we had everything everybody wrote down.
Oh, don't even start me on the Library of
The lost. I
Alexandria.
was literally just gonna say the Lost Library of Alexandria.
That
I
is
mean,
my
there's
Roman Empire. I think about it every day because I'm a freak of nature.
My brain can't function, so I forgot about it until you guys just said it, and I was like, yeah, that's right, that thing.
I mean, there's everything that the Germans did, stealing the art and all
Yeah.
the. I
Yeah.
mean, the amber room, like Lord knows where that is. So it's like, yeah, it's
Maybe it's in the
crazy.
sand.
It's
Maybe
so
it's in the sand, or
I
maybe
just
it's in Argentina.
at the end of the day, it's like with all of the electronics and, all the fun diggy tools and, magna waves that we can put through any surface. And we still don't have answers to so much of this. And it's like, will
Yeah.
we ever
Ground
find out?
penetrating
Well, yeah,
radar.
radars
Yeah.
and, there's still so many questions about so much of this. And it's like, why? Why are there questions? Answer
I
the question.
feel like there's so much that we do today because like there's so much that was done 150 years ago now that we're like, that was archaic. Like that's barbaric. How could they have thought that would work? 150 years from now, they're going to look back at some of the things that we do, some of the like ways that we have of finding things out like scientifically or even like medically of what we're doing and be like, what the fuck was wrong with these people? And it's just because it's what we have. So like, Lord knows what it is
I
like for them.
out that the
Yes.
last killing or the last execution by guillotine was done 50 years ago in France. 1971 is either 71 or 1973 was the last guillotine execution in France.
And that's when you look back,
I'm gonna Google this just real quick.
I guess that's kind of a testament to some growth as people where we're trying to get
Yeah,
better.
We're
But
trying.
I think we fall by the wayside for sure a little bit. But I feel like as a collective, we try to get better every generation. Like, oh, you're not supposed to smoke in the car with kids. Oh yeah, we don't do that no more.
I
Like,
was wrong. It was September 10th, 1977. So we haven't even hit the
Oh,
50-year mark yet. We have 2
oh,
years until we hit that 50-year mark.
see, but do you see how like back then that was how they did it. They didn't even
Yeah.
blink. They they held parties for it. And now we're like, ugh, serious? Really?
right. And so what are that we do today are they going to be saying that about? Like you guys didn't know this
Dry
was right
shampoo.
here under all this sand? What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and like in 50 years, is sand going to shift and release some of this stuff that we've had questions about? Are the oceans going to move to
Well,
where it gives back some of history? Like it
ugh,
just, it's so much
we
to
watched
know.
we watched The Wild Robot this weekend. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I believe it's on Netflix. I literally sobbed the last 45 minutes of it. It's the most adorable thing ever, and it's heartbreaking and lovely, and everybody needs to watch it.
Do you know what I watched
Um,
this weekend? And I 10 out of 10 wouldn't suggest because this show ruined Charlie Hunnam for me. Ed Gein.
No,
why?
you watched it.
Yeah. On
Okay,
Netflix, the Ed Gein documentary thing, I guess.
don't go into it yet. Let me just all they showed on this movie that I just want to get out before we get into this because I want to ask you questions and I don't want to leave this hanging really quick.
Uh-huh.
It was showing migration of geese and they were going over where the Golden Gate Bridge was, but it
Hmm.
was about 100 feet underwater and you could still see the peaks of it, but there were whales swimming like over the bridge because just the world had like the oceans had grown and people had left and the robot and all the animals were the only things still left.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Which,
Gene,
who
he's
knows? Who knows in 100 years or
Who knows?
150 years what things will be
it'll be
then?
Waterworld with Kevin Costner.
I do love the water.
I mean, I hope Kevin Costner's not there, but I mean, just Waterworld in general.
You
Yeah.
never know. But yeah, going back on poor Charlie played this role so well. He went from Jax Teller to Ed Gein. And ew.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Ew.
I mean, obviously I know he played other roles in between. I'm not saying that he just jumped from one to the other, but I'm saying like if you compare the two or look at the two different characters, I cannot believe that's the same man. Have you guys watched it?
No, it only came out on the 3rd, and I don't have the mental capacity to deal
I
with
watched
this.
it on the plane coming home from Vegas last night.
Yeah,
I've been watching Haunted Hotel on Netflix.
Oh, I want to watch that. No, I can't do true crime ever since I
Hysterical.
got pregnant. I can't listen to it anymore. But nothing against it at all. And maybe I'll get back to it someday, but Lily's
I
still
was
here.
going to
It's
say,
very, very small.
I feel like this wouldn't be the same. It's obviously it is true crime, but
But
it's
fictionalized.
a
Semi.
little bit, but they kind of show more. They show about Ed. I'm not going to totally ruin it all, but they show because everyone, for the most part, knows about Ed Gein.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
There might be, but anyway, they just kind of show the parts of Ed Gein that they put into Psycho.
So it's not like, okay.
It is a little bit, but it does humanize him just a smidge. Where
If you hear his whole upbringing,
yeah,
it kills you.
It
but
does
to a certain extent.
It's very sad. It is a very sad situation, but at the same time, a lot of people are raised by absolute zealot lunatics. And
I mean, wasn't he the one that only dug people up? And he only ever really killed his mom, right?
nope.
Oh.
Guys, we're going to have to wrap this up because I'm about to wet my pants. So I just wanted to no, you're fine. Throw that out there. Next week, are we still down to do haunted/spooky? The week after, we'll do Halloween. So this isn't the Halloween week yet.
Do we want to do haunted hospitals?
Yeah.
I may have a write-in story for this. One of my besties was a nurse all over the place.
Do a write-in. That's the best. Yes, let's do haunted. I keep wanting to say haunted hotels. No, haunted hospitals.
I know. Okay.
Are you down with that, Chels?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for traveling the worlds and through the sands of time with us today. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful time.
Yeah. Bye.
Best wishes.
Bye.
Bye.